Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Mary Price, the Events and Marketing Director at the Shingo Institute at Utah State University, and I'm thrilled to have Glasson Fonseca with us today. Glasson is a manufacturing and operations consultant with over 25 years of experience driving performance improvements for global companies like Minsoor, Sabelco, and Novelis. He most recently was involved with the transformation at Minsoor in Pisco, Peru, where they received the Shingo Bronze Award. He's going to share some insights today on overcoming transformation failures through the Shingo Model. We published an article in our newsletter earlier this month that you can read in our blog. Just go to shingo.org/articles and you'll see it there. Glasson, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today, and I'll turn the time over to you.
No, thank you. Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. I hope everything's okay with everyone. I'm going to be very brief. There's a long talk about here, but I'm trying to get very brief and straight to the point. Let me give you a just very high level, fast introduction. I've been introduced to Shingo several years ago, but I've been working on the industry in several industries, mainly leading transformation. And I'm now working in Latin America and mining Latin America, and working with Shingo, Lean, Six Sigma, all that. And everything that we're going to talk about today, it was insight for those years and a lot of reading, publications, benchmarking, talking. So it's a gathering of a lot of information. I've got a lot of help for a lot of people. So what we're going to discuss here is my learning, my experience, and I hope it helped you somehow. And I'm open to questions at the end. Well, when we started doing this, I started very fresh. I didn't had much to go on, and I learned along the way, right? But finally, when I got chance to structure it, and again, looking at all the transformations, some very successful, some less, I could see that there are mainly two places where a transformation can fail, right? I would call this stage 1 and 2, but what it really means is that it fails just at the start. It doesn't catch on. It doesn't have a lot of speed, a lot of momentum. The user doesn't get along with the transformation. The leaders doesn't get along with the transformations, and that's a thing, right? The second part is, okay, maybe you got a good pilot, but we could not scale very much, right? So it's a different fail logic. So I separated them for both because we have to take care of both, right? We just don't want to start strong. We really need to get the momentum going. So getting every information that I've got, I could arrange that in those two stages. Is mainly what we have here is normally transformations are treated as a project fails very fast. It's not understood as a business change. We have a weak value thesis. We don't connect to value just at the start. Leaders doesn't get along. They treat it as your project. Well, show me what you are doing. So middle management, permafrost, there's just waiting to see what is going to happen. Right? And there's no clear blueprint, low user, you don't involve leaders, and the users are not involved in the solutions as well. So that's mainly the key points. There's a lot more, but I could summarize this. This is the main reasons, all literature that I've read, right? It's here. So the main reasons are we have weak start, and this is mainly what we're going to talk about today. And that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to use this some frameworks, but mainly, and for me, the game changers was when I got to know Shingo. Playing to win is a good strategy. Lean instruments, it was very good, but Shingo actually was a game changer for me. I'm going to explain to you how it's going to be. And that's my cultural insight, right? When I could see that the Shingo changed my perspective from tools to culture. Normally, what we have always do is implement a Rado board, value stream mapping, whatever. And we couldn't make it work. We couldn't make copy a good tool, implement it anywhere because we couldn't see this. And no operation can be successful when they're trying to make a tool-oriented culture, not systems. And this is what I put in every step of the way of the roadmap you're going to talk about. Right? And as I told you at the beginning, there are 2 stages of failure, but roadmap I have three stages. I called one stage 0. That stage 0 is because what I saw is that preparation for before you start will get you a long way. If you get it right here, you can get a good stage 1, right? At least you have a better chance on stage 1. And stage 2 is the second part. How can you adopt definitely the transformation, right? But stage 1 is getting people on board, getting people knowing what we're going to face to, knowing where we're going, building a strong value proposition, and started talking about culture since day 1, cultural behaviors. Even if you don't share that with everybody on the room, we as transformation leaders must understand that we are going to prepare everything, bring people for the stage 1, talking about culture from day 1. Well, so again, I'm going to talk about first this plane to win framework, because it was it ends talking about capacities and systems. And that's why it's a great link to Shingo. That's why I like this framework very much. So first thing we have to do is understand, create and establish in the learning platform. Every leader must know why we're going to do it. What will happen if you don't change? People must understand why the transformation is a choice, is a necessity, is not a project. Right? And this workshop that we do with leaders, that's the first part of it. Right? When they understand it, they can change their view and they can work as a leader of the transformation, not just sit back and see we struggle. We are going to create a sense of urgency. And there are 5 steps for it. I'm going to go very fast from the first 2. I'm not trying to explain every step of the way, but I'll just keep how I connected everything from plane to win to Shingo, right? So, but the first part of the plane to win is like understanding what are the win aspiration. When you talk about transformation, what you want to do, it's why it make me win? Why is it going to make me best in my class? The second part is where we're going to have to decide where to play. In bringing this concept to our transformation, you have to decide where you're going to transform and where not you're going to do it. Choose wisely, right? That's you can choose by value proposition. You can choose by leader. This leader is very willing to, so he must be a very good lighthouse at the end of the implementation. So choose where you're going to play. Right? First, why this transformation is going to make me win? Where should I play it? Why these plays make me better than others? And now the connections, 3, 4, 5, that's connections. It's value proposition. This transformation, that place with that leader, what's going to bring me? What is the early evidence that this transformation can bring me, show me this early success? What are the proof points? And this must be early. People will lose patience very fast in transformations. And the way we're trying to engage people, this must be done to show people that this is changing. We're going through a good place, right? And the fourth one is capability. And now we're going to start connecting that with the Shingo. So we started what are my winning aspirations? What a value proposition, and why is going to make me win? But what capabilities I must have to work here? So I separate in all capabilities. It's soft issues like leadership, leading with humility, and technical capabilities, right? But just choose the main items here. And finally, systems. And here is the full connection, right? And systems, just not the technical systems, but I expanded it. We're going to talk about the management system, workflow system, improvement systems. And because every system that we put, technical system, if you put an AI change, if you change the way you manage, if you put a continuous improvement management system, you have to have an improvement management system together with it. And people must know how you're going to manage, what are the KPIs, what are the key KPIs that you're looking for. And here's a great way, there's a great point to do talk, not about, okay, this is the system that we're going to have, but what are the key behaviors for the new systems? How this is going to affect the way we work, right? That's not on the original literature. What I saw here that it was missing for me in my perspective is this connection for the continuous of the implementation of the system. So that's why it's here. And that's why Play to Win falls into Shingo very fast. So at the end, when we ended talking about this framework, connecting these 5 steps, talked about KPIs, talked about systems, capacities, that as a glance on the future, right? So we want to be that. And I know why. And I know why it's going to differentiate me. But the next key step is to gather every leader that we're talking about, that you're going to go through this transformation with you. We must understand and align where are we coming from. That's why I adjusted a little bit the value stream map. It's not the value stream mapping that we're normally used to as a lean users. It's not a flow. It could be a flow as well. But the main point here is to talk about broadly what we want. How are we in the present? What are we doing that is different? It must be changed for the future. Let's look on the value stream mapping with Shingo lenses, right? Let's look at it not only as flow. It must have flow, must have KPIs, it must have value, but also let's look at it as systems, capacities, and behaviors, right? So use the tool as alignment tool for all the leaders. So we're going to align, okay, so we are sitting now here. There's a good place to make a good diagnosis. This diagnose will help us to understand with the future that we design and plan to win, we'll land here. And the future, let's not ever forget, doing all North Star KPIs only. So when you design your future state for that, enable behaviors, lean, right? And put value stream map in the governance. And finally, as a tool, Hoshinkari. Why this Hoshinkari? Why the lean, right? Because first we design where we want to go. What is our aspiration with Plane to Win? We aligned where we are, what you have to change, what's the future, but you have to deploy it. And this is a very good to deploy because we start with our visions, the end of our value stream mapping, the change it, design it for what is going to happen this year, who's going to make it, who's going to improve it. And this is a cycle because maybe when we got here is not feasible, we have to readjust. But definitely this, you deploy everything. It's a very strong tool, not only to connect the dots, but to communicate everything to everybody. And the leaders that we will talk around all along this process will connect with the necessity, with the urgency, and why we're going to do it and what we're going to do, right? So this step, it's a long, mainly this Hoshinkari takes a long time because you have to deploy and for the main areas, talk with the leaders, but it's a very important tool so you can align everybody and talk, take care of the main causes of failure that we discussed earlier. Well, and so what we got from here until now is these 3 tools mainly plane to win, value stream mapping, and Hoshinkari connected with the framework of Shingo, we got a very good vision of the future. Every leader should be aligned with that. And now you have to make design what you're going to do and design the first lighthouse you're going to have. And this is the proof of concept of everything you're talking about. So design it with use all tools that we have at our disposal. Make huddles, make it visual, always visual. Do not fall on the temptation to use it as everything's automatic, everything's digital. Be mainly on the proof of concept. You have to be able to walk on Gemba, and people must see how it works and see changes by the moment we are making a good Gemba, right? So make things be visible, talk a lot, co-design. It's another key issue, co-design. People must be owners of the process, and they only be owners if they join with you. And act your way into the new culture you wanna have, right? So build this change together with the users. The leader so far, you design the future, deploy the future, and now with the users, just design, build the change you want to see. Again, talk about everything, not only tools, but how the tools will serve the systems and behavior that make the transformation possible. Transformation is very clear when you use the first frameworks we talked about. And lighthouse, it's decide when you decide where you want to play, look for the value. Never lose sight of your value. So report value. Results are always better to show than the processes, right? So focus on what we are getting, make a 90-day hypothesis, decide together with a good governance, decide what's going to kill, what is going to change. Talk about people a lot. Here is people oriented mainly. Tools are definitely a thing, but here is people oriented, right? And finally, and this is one of my last things is that how can we put everything together, right? Because after we've done everything, all step of the way, we have to make the governance work, because people must see and must talk about it, not only as a user of the transformation, right? A client of the transformation. They must be leaders of the transformation. So design the governance, design the connect every level of the organization with a good steering committee. Understand that every single piece must have his own governance. Make the leaders of this small governance understand what they're doing, connect with the level above, and work and make the data and the information work itself up. Yeah. And use peer-to-peer accountability. That means this transformation, you're going to make a transformation, you're going to show different areas probably. And even in one transformation, people normally have to interact with a lot of areas, and use this on our benefit, right? A benefit of the transformation. Accountability must be visible. So people must know what you're expected from them. And they must know what they want to see when they go check on this governance, how things are going. Everything's connected. We can walk through every step of the way, but on the planning, on the designing, but during the implementation, the routines must be extremely visible. People that must understand what and why they're doing what they're doing. Right? Again, measure the right things. KPIs, always KPIs, but never forget about KPIs. Understand how we're going to do it, how people will perceive it, how it connects to the system. Steering committee, make it all the way up. Every week for the area, every month for the site, every 3 months for the business, whatever fits you, but make it work up and make people be accountable for the results. The transformation area, the continuous improvement area is not responsible for the transformation, is responsible to run the machine, right? The leaders are responsible for the transformation. That's why the governance is so important. And continuous improvement. What that means that this governance must not be pointing fingers. It must be problem solving. How we're not getting to where we want. Our 90 days proof is working or not. What is not working? It's people oriented. The problem is tools. We don't have knowledge. Be real, be honest, be transparent every step of the way of the letter about this governance, and talk about it with our open hearts and our open mind, looking for solutions, not point fingers, right? So continuous improvement at the heart of the governance. And when you look at during this governance, what you look, behaviors, leaders, Gemba, cadency, problem solving, definitely. Look for the systems and definitely results. There's 3 things we must check on the regular basis when you're looking for the cadence and you're looking for the systems, right? So coming back here, I mean, I'm just finishing my 20 minutes. So making all that, it's although I've been breezing through, very fast paced, it's a long way. I mean, it's not that fast. But if every tool all the way, we can check most of things on the stage 1 part. That's my goal here. I mean, because if we start this way, you connect people, you establish an urgency, connect with the value, people know why, where, and how, and you connect a good governance with that, design with everybody, people will make it work, right? And definitely when leaders model the right behaviors and end results, transformation is not only possible, but self-sustaining. And I really believe that. I mean, again, my experience in good things, bad things along the way. I think there's a very strong first steps to take, although it's not as easy, it's not as fast, but definitely it's a good place to start. Anyway, that's my time. I hope I didn't make it too fast. I hope I could be clear enough. Time and for patience, and well, I'm open to questions.
Perfect. Thank you so much. We do have several questions. So let me go ahead and see if I can display these for you. The first question is, how do we connect behaviors within the management system? And can you give an example and explain how they lead to the results that you're looking for?
Yeah. Let's see if I can get things here. Well, connect the behaviors within the management system. Well, for instance, an example that we worked on our first implementation, actually, at the day 1, we got a management system that we called it. We didn't call it that time, but now we organized in management systems. There's a continuous improvement system, right? Where you look for deviations, you guarantee that we have no surprises. So we establish a lot of tools, a lot of metrics, and these tools must be organized in such a way that every level must understand and react to his own problem. Right? What happened in this industry is this management system, that's continuous improvement system. If they had a problem, they scale, no matter how big is the problem, even if the operator could have the authority to make it so, to make it happen and correct it. They didn't have the opportunity to do so because they have to get it up. They didn't have the empowerment to do so. So at the very beginning of the transformation, we understood that leading with humility. It was one behavior that we must have in this management system. Although we're not totally structured as a system in Shingo, we organize it that way. We organize it and we do our round trips, our role confirmation sites of visits. We started seeing leaders that could not let the operator have this kind of empowerment. So we have to work with these leaders and startups looking for this kind of behaviors. Other one was a sense of urgency, because we started pointing out what's not working on their daily routine, and things that are out of their hands must have like 1 or 2 days answer, and it's starting to have weeks. So their behavior of agility was not being seen at that time, at the very beginning of this management system. Right? So the first thing we saw is what system we must have is the continuous improvement system, where we correct problems along the way. And the main behaviors were these ones. So we started looking for those behaviors and train our leaders on those behaviors, right? On the confirmation roles and all that. Oscar, I'm not sure if I could answer your question, but
that's great. Next question. How can you shift the executive leaders' mindsets and culture so that the continuous improvement team is seen as the machine and not the overall governance?
Yeah. Well, that's on the heart of the problem for many of us, right? Well, the thing, it's always a struggle. I mean, I've never been in a place that, no, I'm lying. I've been in a place where the C-level totally understood. But it's the most common places that people, mainly the management, see that, okay, transform it, right? But what I saw is, and that's why I put in this order, you have to connect the transformation in the value, in the strategy. And when you can, you understand where the company is going and why this transformation will lead the company there, it's easier to talk to them, because you talk to them as how I'm going to help you build the strategy. It's not how I will build the strategy, right? And that's the first part. Connect strategy, connect the need for transformation, and then the governance is like, what's your role on this transformation? And you have to scale up. I mean, maybe you're not in touch with the C-level, but you have to talk with the director, arrange meetings. You have to influence, talk around, but definitely that's the two main topics. Connect with strategy and connect the governance, that they will have a role in the governance, knowing what they have to do to make it work, right? And expose and ask for help. They respond a lot for that. I mean, ask for help you need their help to make things happen. And they responded very fast as well, if they know what they have to do and how they have to do it. And to make it very organized, very tight. Don't bring all the problems. Just make them focus on 3 problems at a time, and real stake problems. Make the low stake problems under your management level, but high stake problems, make them work for that too.
Perfect. We have one more question that we have time for. Could you please provide an example of a KPI metric, and how do you measure it?
Yeah. Well, actually, that's you do or you don't. That's basically a metric. And we have to understand. I gave you an example. For instance, we have an example like, and let me give you a bad example. First, we had red, yellow, and green, right? And the leader, during a visit, saw that and said that the people must have focus on data. Just to give you an example. I mean, they have a problem. They have to work this problem with the data. And they got there, joined the meeting, say, okay, I think you got the data. And he cross-checked the green, right? And I was looking for, my team were looking for that. And definitely no data we're talking about, but they checked it. So that's, we got the right behavior, but the wrong measurements. And then we decided that to make it work, we must train the leaders on what they have to see. Behavior is something that you see it happen. And not only that, is something that you see faster than results. You see people acting now, and this acting will generate a results tomorrow. But if you can correct the behavior now, you can correct the results before they happen. So that's why you have to observe, and it must be observable. No doubt about it. People didn't bring the data to our discussion. Didn't use it. So it's you use it or you don't use it. And after that, you have to make a rollout on coaching, on feedback, on the people you're observing, right? So first, understand why this behavior is not letting you get to the results, how you're going to design your system to show this behavior, because the system drives the behavior, right? If your system doesn't allow for people to bring data because you have to do everything so fast, doesn't allow people to get time for the information, people never get information. So if you need the information, design your system for people to get the information and train your leaders to see the behavior you want. And you don't, or you do have the behavior.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. That's all that we have time for. I appreciate your time preparing and sharing with us today. And to all the attendees, thank you for joining. I know there were some of you that had some issues with the video, but we'll send the recording out in case you missed any of it. So, and we'll see you again next month. Thanks everyone again.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Mary.